When I moved into my new house, the realtor mentioned something strange about the basement. She said the previous owner had sealed it shut. Not locked sealed, with heavy wooden boards nailed across the door and thick metal screws driven right through the frame. I asked her why. She just shrugged and said, "Some people just don't like basements." The house itself was perfect. A quiet neighborhood, old trees lining the street, a place that felt so peaceful the moment I stepped inside. So, I didn't think much about the basement. For the first 2 weeks, everything was normal until the scratching started. It was faint at first. Late at night, when the house was completely silent, I would hear it coming from the basement door at the end of the hallway. A soft scratch, a pause, then another scratch. It sounded like someone dragging their fingernails slowly across the wood. The first time it happened, I just assumed it was mice. Old houses have mice, right? But mice don't knock. 3 nights later, the scratching stopped. Instead, something knocked. 3 slow, deliberate taps. Knock, knock. I stood frozen in the hallway, staring at the boarded-up basement door, my heart pounding in my chest. I told myself what everyone tells themselves in moments like that. Houses make noise. It's just old pipes, shifting wood, temperature changes. Still, I went back to bed that night with the light on. The next morning, I decided to ask my neighbor about the previous owner. He went quiet the second I mentioned the basement. Then he said something that made my stomach tighten into a knot. "You hear anything from down there yet?" I didn't answer. He just studied my face for a moment, then let out a heavy sigh. "Just don't open it," he said. That night, sleep was impossible. Every sound in the house felt amplified. Every shadow seemed to stretch and deepen. At exactly 2:41 a.m., the knocking came back. Knock, knock, knock. This time, something else followed. A voice. It was soft, weak. It sounded like someone who had been whispering for a very, very long time. "Hello?" My entire body froze. The voice sounded human, not threatening, not angry, just tired. "Please," it said quietly. "Can you let me out?" I just stared at the basement door. My brain was racing, trying to find a rational explanation. Maybe someone had gotten trapped down there somehow. Maybe the previous owner had sealed the door after leaving someone behind. The thought made my chest feel tight and heavy. "Hello?" The voice called again. "It's dark down here." I walked slowly down the hallway, each step feeling heavier than the last. As I got closer to the door, the voice spoke again, right on the other side. "Thank you." My hand hovered near the boards, but something about the voice felt wrong. I couldn't explain it. Maybe it was how calm it sounded, or the fact that it never seemed confused, just patient, like it knew I would eventually come. I took a step back. "No," I whispered, almost to myself. Silence fell instantly. For several long seconds, nothing happened. Then the voice spoke again, but this time it sounded different, stronger, more certain. "That's okay," it said softly. "I'll wait." The knocking stopped after that, and the house returned to complete silence for 2 days. Then, on the 3rd night, the knocking came from somewhere else. It came from behind me, from inside the house. Knock, knock, knock. I turned slowly, my eyes landing on the living room closet. The door was just slightly ajar. And from the sliver of darkness inside, something knocked from the other side. 3 slow, patient taps. Knock, knock. Then the voice whispered again, right behind the door. "Thank you for letting me out."